good afternoon to you, our viewers, and welcome to Youth Impact, where we are not just talking about growing up, we are growing up talking. This show has been brought to you by Success Africa in partnership with KUTV. I am your lovely host, Derek Wesley. Today, we are taking a deeper look into the health benefits of trees. Are they just there for beauty? Well, we take a look, but before that, let's cross over to Success Africa, coming up with the Vox Pops.
I think a lot of people should realize how harmful junk foods are, and you just need to remember that anything sweet has a negative effect on your body. Anything that is sweet, sugary, it has a lot of effects on your body. So you have to be careful of what you're taking in. So you have more organic things. They might not be sweet, but they're the ones that should be your go-to.
I don't think that they really feed that well. Like they really eat well because like they just take a variety of things. Like the Gen Z right now, they're so more focused on the foods which are imported, like foods from out country, most especially maybe from Europe. Those kind of foods, they don't eat healthy. People want imported foods, canned foods, and these foods, what can I say? These foods are not healthy. We eat a lot of canned foods, and sometimes most of them become obese because of these foods. And it's not just healthy. We should go back to the old way of eating, the way our parents used to eat. For example, they just have ugali, kales. Just those healthy foods, not these canned foods and other imported foods that we don't know about.
For example, ndoma, ngwashe, those things are expensive, and also some of us don't know how to cook that stuff. So we opt to go for food yenye ishapikwa kunje kas mocha, chapo, chipo mwitu, and it's cheap.
When you hear someone say that fast foods lead to some of the diseases we are having, does that scare you as a Gen Z? How do you feel about that, thinking about your old age?
For me, it doesn't scare me because what might affect you might not affect me. So it's for you to know what is good for you and what is not good for you.
Joining us on set today to help us understand this topic better is a professionally trained teacher, a counseling psychologist, Anne Ngaruya. Thank you so much for joining us on set. You're very much welcome. And today's catchword, or rather tagline, is "You are what you eat." And I understand that you've come a long way in regards to this specific topic. But before that, please help us understand who exactly is Anne Ngaruya.
Okay, thank you very much, Wesley, and everyone. And hello, everyone. My name is Hannah Ngaruya, as you have heard. I'm a trained teacher, I'm a mother and a wife, and I'm also a counseling psychologist. And I have worked for the government for a long time, but I'm now retired doing my own things. But mainly, I'm in health and wellness.
Mm-hmm. You've served the government and now you're doing your own stuff.
Yes.
That is quite good. So for people who've not met you, there is this one aspect of your life that is, I find it personally very motivating. And because you don't want to be selfish, please just in very few words, help us understand, how was your journey surviving cancer?
Tough is the word that I can use.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is a very challenging health issue. Yes, I went through cancer treatment and a long journey, an extremely difficult one. But here I am, and particularly because of the kind of food that I have been eating, and the attitude, and my mindset, and the support that I've got from people.
Wow. So how long ago was this?
I was diagnosed in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And when did you confirm that you're free?
Once somebody goes through cancer treatment, it becomes a journey. You live a day at a time, and you have to keep a very close eye on your body. That is what I've been doing for the last 5 years. So far, so good. When you go for tests and the doctor said, you're fine, then you move on with life.
Wow.
Yeah,
that
but you
is
keep
so
checking.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So beautiful. So how was it like feeling the pieces of yourself back together to becoming the person that you are today?
Cancer treatment is extremely harsh to the body. So other than the disease itself, the side effects are very, very bad. So you find you dealing with the cancer itself and you're also dealing with the side effects. In my case, I got a very bad side effect, which is the kidney disease. And so I was dealing with a number of things. I was dealing with very poor immunity, being anemic, having chronic kidney disease. My body was generally very, very weak. And so when I got to know about what you're dealing with today, herbal medicine, but I call them supplements, which are basically the same, then that is when my life took a turn for the better. I was in extremely very bad shape when I was introduced to the supplements.
Wow, it is extremely tremendous, Anna, to see you sit down here today as a mother, as a qualified teacher, and as a psychologist to come and help us understand this topic. Now, because you've spoken about herbal medicine, I understand that there are two generations that are currently in existence. There's this infamous Gen Z, and there's, of course, your generation that probably benefited from Mzee Moi's milk. So there is a very big difference between their two understanding of herbal medicine, because to Gen Z today, if you introduce things like Mwarubaini to them, they'll probably think of it as witchcraft. So what is your understanding of these? What exactly do you mean by herbal medicine?
Okay, by herbal medicine, okay, to begin with, I'm a believer of the good book that says that we were given plants that have seeds and fruits that have seeds to eat as our food. And my understanding is that seed is a source of life. So when we eat food that has seed, when we eat whole food, then it gives our bodies strength and the nutrients that our bodies need to function properly. As you rightly say, we are what we eat. Yes, so my understanding is that if we eat right, our bodies will be strong, they will fight against immunity. And just to change your thinking, actually, young people today have embraced proper eating.
Wow.
You just need to come to where I spend my days, and you see the number of young people we have who are every day, on a daily basis, are telling people about healthy living, eating proper food, doing exercises, avoiding stress, and thinking properly. And you know that it comes as a package. Yeah, the eating and what you do with after you have eaten.
So, like, do you have a program that mentors these young people to embrace herbal medicine and just fruits, vegetables, and all that?
Yes.
Because from where I come from, unfortunately enough, people do a lot of burgers, chips, and that is the definition of a young person today.
Yes.
It's either is eating chips, sodas, burgers, and all that. So you have a program that mentors young people towards that direction.
Yes, we have a program. The program is not a program per se, but it is a way of living, a way of also generating income. You know, as I say, it's a package, because when you live well, you make people understand that when they live well, they avoid disease. When they avoid disease, they are productive. When they are productive, they can work and generate income and avoid a lot of wastage of time and of resources. So that is the kind of an environment in which I live. So we talk about health first, and then we talk about health first, and then wealth. Health as a result of eating natural food. And natural food is what you're referring to as a herbal medicine. Yes.
So there's a myth going around that it's quite expensive getting this kind of medication, and if you just devote your life to this kind of a system, Is it really true that it is that expensive, or people are exaggerating?
Expensive is relative to me, if you ask me. I can tell you for a fact, we can do simple math here. If you have a condition, a health condition, and you are spending 400 shillings, you're on medication, you're spending 400 shillings a day, probably you have hypertension or diabetes, and you have to live on that for a month, a year, 2 years, 10 years, then if you calculate that to 400 shillings, every day, that's on medication, probably 2 types of medication every day, and you're just managing this condition, you're not treating to cure it, then tell me if that is not expensive at the end of the day. But when we use herbal products, the food, and they treat the root cause of the disease, and so they cure. It's not about managing, it's curing the disease. First of all, preventing the disease, and then if in the event that there is a disease, then you cure the disease, and then you don't continue spending money.
So basically, when you go the herbal way, it's much cheaper as compared to when you go.
A lot cheaper. It is less painful. Yeah, it is not risky, because conventional medicine have side effects because they are made of chemicals. Yes. And again, what we do not consider when we are going through treatment is the time factor. When I'm in bed, when I'm bedridden, I'm not being productive. When you come to see me, you have stopped being productive to come and see me. When you are my caregiver, you're not working. You're not being productive.
So basically, their whole focus is on you.
Yes, and we do not count that time spent focusing on the patient as an expense. Yet, time is a very, very expensive resource.
Wow, that is so insightful. So we are taking a short break, but before that, when we come back, we are going to understand how available is this kind of treatment, this kind of lifestyle, especially in a world that is fast growing. We have buildings cropping up, and when buildings come up so fast, that means we have to reduce the number of plants that we do as a country. So thank you so much for staying tuned to the first segment. We take a short break. When we come back, we bring you more. For staying tuned to Youth Impact. Keep it locked as the conversation keeps going. So Anna, before we left, we were talking about development, and development definitely has to hurt our planting capability and ability. So most of the planting is now done in the rural areas, and cities have been left for development, of course. That is in terms of buildings and all that. So today, getting processed food is very easy. So where do we run to, especially at this time?
Yes, that is the reality of the times in which we are living, that development has come up, and there is nothing we can do about that. And it's a good thing, it is a positive thing. But unfortunately, we have taken up land that previously was used for farming, and therefore we are left without a lot of food from the farm, and we have to go for the processed food. And that is what is causing a lot of health challenges. Now, we have everything that is processed. And when something is processed, then a lot of nutrients have been taken away from that. And so we don't get enough of something to support our bodies. Now, we need to be conscious about what is happening. Because even in our places like America, where the very developed places, we have places set aside for food. But if we focus and we are purposeful on what we are eating, we can get this food. Did you know that you could grow your own food in your small, very small, you only need 1 meter by 1 meter to have a corn garden, and you can plant your vegetables there. You don't have to go to buy from the market, which has been grown with fertilizers and pesticides. Yeah, when it comes to say flour for ugali, you can purpose to buy maize and get your, or go to a maize mill and get your the one that is not refined. Yes, that you can do.
You could actually mill your own.
You could do your own meal, and it's cheap, it's affordable. Yeah, and because we have maize that is easily accessible. Now, when it comes to eating things like fruits and vegetables, a lot of young people are going for cake. They're going for, other things you really cannot tell exactly what they are from the supermarket, and giving their children, such that you find right from the beginning children are coming up with various diseases. Small kids have diabetes, they have cancer, and they have all sorts of diseases. So being purposeful is the main thing, and understanding that you are what you are. Yes, then you will go out. Because if people go out for other things, they go out of their way. So they can as well go out to make sure that their bodies are healthy.
So, because you've also mentioned on chemicals and pesticides. So my understanding of that is that when we're planting, we basically need these to help us grow the fruit. So is it possible that you, today, as you eat your mango, there is still a percentage or rather a chance that it is contaminated in regards to the same chemicals that we use in planting? So should we appreciate genetically modified foods because they are actually faster to grow and come at a cheaper price in regards to the others?
That is not exactly correct. Personally, myself, I have never used fertilizer or pesticides to grow food, and I have a lot of food in my garden. My mother is 80 years old. She has never used fertilizer or pesticides in her farm, and she normally has more for herself and even to sell. Yes, unlike other people. And I understand because of her practices, her way of living life, that is why she has remained healthy. So I think we also need to do our own research, because we don't have to wait for people to tell us if you use this, it will grow faster. I can do that experiment myself. The truth is, I plant with manure, organic manure, my food will grow very well. Yes, and a lot of it, and it will be healthy enough. Yes, let me mention that. I believe people are in business. People who sell fertilizer and pesticides, they are in business. So they're looking for market for their products. So they will tell us all sorts of stories.
So they want to survive.
They want to survive, but you can do your own experiment yourself in your farm. Yeah.
So what are some of the long-term measures that we can take to ensure that this generation is living a healthy life?
Let us purpose to whatever small piece of land is left. Let us grow food and grow food organically as much as possible. Let us be conscious that our lifestyle, it will determine the kind of life that we will have. Now, unfortunately, because of development, we have women working in offices and a lot of people working in offices, sitting for many hours at a computer or doing something. And we need to know and understand that has an effect, a negative effect on our body. So exercises is key. You have to purpose to at least take 30 minutes of exercise, at least 3 times a week. That we can do. Now, if you can walk, don't take a motorbike. If you can leave your car and walk to the bus stage a day or 2 days, 3 days in a week, and then eat the food that. Now, but let us also not be lazy to go to the supermarket and buy the food that has been in the warmer throughout the day. Let us purpose to cook our own food in our own home so that we are sure of what we're eating. Outside this forum, I can give you more information that we also have this food that we are talking about in form of supplements, what you people are doing, processed nicely and in the right dosage. And because to supplement is to fill up what you have lacked from the food that you are eating. So it is a must, because more than 50 years ago when I was a child, my mother gave me Scott's emulsion, mafuta ya samaki. That was supplementation. So it's not a new thing that we're seeing.
It is something that has been in existence.
It has been in existence. Yeah. So it's only that now, because life has changed, we have upped the game so that we have more supplements today than there were before. Yeah.
So going back to your story just a little bit, would you help us understand the role of caregivers in the life of people who may be going through illness and challenges that they are basically not able to take care of themselves? Because I also understand that at some point in your life, you're going through a lot and you needed somebody to assist you. So what is the role of these people in regards to the life of people who are going through illness?
I will talk about a caregiver as having been a caregiver myself.
Wow.
Uh,
You've been a caregiver and you've
one
also.
of my sons is also a cancer survivor,
Mhm.
and I gave him care, so I understand from that perspective. It is extremely tough because all the time you focus on the patient. When they vomit, for example, from nowhere, you really have to start wondering, now what has happened, so what am I going to give them?
Mhm.
Now you have to think about the money, you have to think about, sometimes at night you don't sleep because you're wondering how are they, sometimes they're in pain, and all manner of things. So you forget yourself. A caregiver forgets themselves. And what I would want to tell anybody who is a caregiver is that you need to know that you are also a patient. As you give care, you are patient. Your appetite gets affected. Your mood gets affected. Emotionally, you're down completely. Your energy levels go down. And so what I tell people is that now get family members, get close friends, the ones who can understand and walk with you. You need somebody to ask you in the morning, how did you sleep? Have you eaten? What do you feel? What do you think? And to encourage you that you're doing whatever you're doing to support this person, but you also need to take care of yourself. So families, be together when there is a sick person in the family. I was lucky because my family was extremely supportive, very, very, very supportive. My husband stopped working to take care of me. And my children, my church, my neighbors, everybody was very, very supportive. And that made it a very difficult, and otherwise a very difficult journey, slightly easier. Yes, so that is what needs to be done. And I remember when my son was going through cancer treatment, I developed the same symptoms as he had. I had terrible pain, the exact place where he was getting treated. And I had to go for counseling. And I remember the counselor telling me, if a caregiver is not taken care of, they might find themselves coming back as a patient. And indeed, exactly,
Because of the experience they have.
yeah, the stress is so much. It's so much that you can also become a patient. And indeed, five years down the line, I was back in the same hospital with a similar disease. So it can get that serious. So it's important that people understand that a caregiver is a sick person, and they also need to be given care of by those people around them.
So basically, these are people who live their life for others as well.
Yes.
So they walk
Yes.
with you through the journey until the time that you're fully recovered from it.
Yes, because if somebody is not able to eat, you're literally feeding them, you're washing them, you're taking them to the bathroom, you are, when you go to the doctor, you tell the doctor how this person spent the night, how they are behaving. Literally, you're living your life for the sick person. And it is tough. It's a very, very heavy burden.
We really appreciate the caregivers. So I want you to speak to two categories of people. There's this section of people who still think that buying stuff from the supermarket, eating junk, having a handful of burger is the way to go, and is of course associated to richness, blah blah and all that. So looking at the camera, I want you to speak to them. After that, I want you to speak to the second category, which are people who are probably going through cancer, people who have cancer patients right at home who are going to listen to us. Just one word of encouragement to them before we close.
Okay. To young people, and not only young people, even other people who love quick food, it is food, it is good, but it will not give you what you're desiring to get, a healthy body, a functional body. So eat everything, but eat in moderation. Take a burger once in a while, take a sausage once in a while, but purpose to always eat healthy. Make sure that you eat vegetables, make sure that you take a lot of fluids, that is water, as much as possible. Avoid a lot of manufactured drinks like soda. Avoid a lot of sugar. But just be as natural as possible. That which does not taste nice is the best for your body. Yes, but the things that taste good with sugar, they will give you dental issues. They will affect you in different ways. So yes, eat, but in moderation. Be purposeful to remain healthy. Yes. Now, the other category of people is people who are going through or who have patients who are going through cancer treatment, what I would want you to understand from my own experience is that cancer treatment is extremely harsh to the body. Chemotherapy is lethal. It is toxic. It's highly toxic. You can imagine something that is put in your vein and it makes your hair fall off. You can imagine the kind of damage it is doing to the internal organs. And that comes with pain, and that comes with a lot of other issues, other health issues. So one thing I would want to tell a cancer patient and people who are going through supporting this cancer patient is mindset is very, very important. Be positive. There is nothing like what the doctor tells you, that you only have 3 months to live or whatever number of days. That is not true, because that is not the giver of life. Doctors fall sick and they die themselves. And I say this because I have a friend who 7 years ago was told that she could not even be treated because there was no hope. Today, she's healthier probably more than all of us here. She's very healthy, having gone through cancer treatment. So mindset is very, very important. And also believing what the good book tells us, that now God has the last say. You know, he's the author and finisher of your life. So if you trust that, then you'll be able to fight this disease. Do what is humanly possible. Eat well. Don't listen to people who have not gone through this, because there is a lot of talk. Don't eat meat, don't eat this, don't eat the other. That is not true. When I was going through treatment, the doctor told me, Hannah, go and eat red meat. It is a very good source of protein, and you need that. I would rather a cancer patient eat whatever they can eat rather than not eat anything, because the medication is very heavy to the body. So when the patient is without eating, it is very easy to lose that battle. Let them eat at a particular time. And then when they are through treatment, then they can eat healthy, they can choose what to eat. But they need energy, they need something in the body at a particular time. So stay positive, get people to support, and let people pray for you. And I believe, don't listen to any negative voices. There are many negative voices. Focus on healing. Cancer is a monster that needs to be attacked by every weapon, literally.
Wow, I think that is beautiful. It's also working for me that meat is not entirely evil. So thank you for that. So I think it has been a beautiful journey. Thank you so much for joining us to having this conversation. And I believe that heroes are not just the people who are out there battling and fighting for us and for a country. You are a hero, because having fought through cancer, doing the same thing to your son, is quite commendable. I do not know a better way to thank you so much, just to encourage you to keep going out of your way for your son and for everybody who's out there who's probably going through the same experience. They will not give up having listened to your story. So thank you so much. A high five for being a good mother and a teacher.
Thank you.
And keep doing all that.
Yeah, let me mention that my son now is also encouraging people. He's actually a medical doctor.
Wow.
Yeah.
So much juice. That is beautiful. So thank you so much for staying tuned to Youth Impact. As you heard from Anna, there is no quick fix in life. You are exactly what you eat. Thank you. Until we see you next time. My name is Derek Wesley. I have been your lovely host. And as always, we say, stay curious and keep making a difference. Until next time, adios.
Bye.